I think there's a massive difference between dictatorship and leadership. A lot of people get the two confused.
Being completely transparent and open and truthful all the time is, you would think, the right way to be.
The younger generation, what advice would you give them?
Stop watching YouTube videos that makes it look like it's overnight, because it really isn't.
Sometimes you do have to hold certain things back. It kind of winds me up a little bit. You say, well, I'm a truth teller.
You need to suck enough time to be successful.
Yeah.
You have to foul, and it builds character.
Success doesn't happen overnight. It's hard work.
Welcome to the Ultimate Connector podcast. We're here with Nico, Chief Commercial Officer of Trustcore, and Mark from Riskpod,
Yep.
the CEO, the founder, the man himself, and me, your host of the Ultimate Connector and the founder of it. This is the first episode, and we're excited to have you guys here and have a chat about
Happy to be
leadership.
A huge pleasure, massive honor to be on your first episode. James, thanks for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here. Mark,
Good man.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, same. I'll be here every week with James. Delighted that you're here for the first one. Looking forward to an informal chat about leadership.
Amazing. So that is the topic of the discussion today. So it's really around, what does true leadership look like in today's market? So I'll start with you,
Yeah,
Nico.
sure.
What does
True leadership looks like clarity, trust, respect. And I say those three words not very lightly. I think when it comes to leadership and you're not clear of your direction of travel for your business, you're in deep trouble. If your employees and your team are not sure on where your vision lies and where you are going, you are not going to reach that goal or those goals. Ultimately, respect as well. I think in the workplace, a lot of leaders place themselves above their staff. I think that's mistake number one. If you don't respect your staff, if you don't get down in the trenches and help them dig, you're in trouble immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a massive difference between dictatorship and leadership.
100%.
And I think a lot of people get the two confused, right? I think true leadership is, leading from the top, but essentially being behind your team, pushing them up, as opposed to being at the top and telling people what to do, where to go. And if you don't do it, then you have to suffer consequences, right? So there's a huge differentiation between the two. And I think in today's episode, we're definitely going to cover, those two things, and maybe tell a few stories of what bad leadership looked like as well, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because I know I've been under, or partnered with one leader, CEO, who was an absolute narcissist, and I couldn't wait to exit that relationship. So I think
I can relate.
I think we've all experienced that at some point in our journeys. And so what about you, Mark? Did you experience something like that?
I think, just going back to what I think leadership is, it's a massive, massive topic, right? And there's a couple of core tenements that go across what good leadership is, and they then split out into multiple factions of things that are good, bad, indifferent, and ugly. But getting them all right is very, very difficult because it requires consistency. But I think ostensibly, even if you read the dictionary, the two core guiding principles of good leadership are empathy, and you said it's clarity. It's actually strategic direction, right? Where are we looking to go, and then how do we get there together? Right, that's the difficult bit, because that requires work and consistency and time and input from not just you. It's also accountability of others. Leadership cannot be achieved if the person that you're leading, or the people that you're leading, or whomever is leading a company, a government, an organisation, the buy-in isn't from everybody. So it's a very complicated process that requires a huge amount of dedication, time, and input. Again, then you have some people who are brought in just to manage, right? And that's their responsibility. But I think leadership is bigger than that. I think it comes from yourself too. It comes from the individual.
Yeah, because somebody that leads an organisation, what is organisation? I see it as an organism, a living thing, right? And if you can't control yourself, you can't control, or lead anything else,
Yeah.
right? And I think a lot of it comes down to personal development, you know, self-awareness, self-reflection. You mentioned empathy, you know, compassion, you know, all of these things that, you know, they're easy to recognize, but a lot harder to define, you know.
You've got to work at it.
Yeah, it's a
really
work
got
in
to work
progress
at it.
every day, right?
You have to make the time.
And communication as well. I think that's where a lot of leaders get it wrong. They don't communicate often enough. You get organizations where they have an annual message over Christmas time. That's just it's just not good enough. It needs to be much more frequent than that. And all the staff, right from the top, they need to understand where it is they are going. Not necessarily revealing the numbers of the organization if you don't want to, but certainly if you work for a company, you want to know that the company is doing well enough to keep employing you. You want to know that your impact is making a difference. And I think if you don't tell staff that on a very regular basis, they drift, they get lost.
Yeah, and I think we had a good conversation just before we started, and every organisation is different, right? Everyone has a slightly different culture. It won't be identical. It might be, but very unlikely, with different goals and different directions. You told a really nice story about the empowerment of your business at Trustcore and how people are developed.
Yeah.
Could you shed some light onto that? Because it was a good story.
Absolutely. So I look after a global team of people in a variety of countries. It's one of my favorite things is dealing with people from all kinds of walks of life and different cultures. And ultimately, you've got different cultural groups, but when it comes to a positive attitude, that isn't something that's just within one culture or in one nationality. That's something that's global. And within our business and my teams that I manage, we employ somebody with the right attitude in the right place, and then we support them and nurture them into an MD of an office that they can then build with our support. That doesn't stop. That's ongoing. But that to me is how you scale a business and how you empower people.
Leaders make leaders.
Absolutely.
So what is that support and structure that you give people?
Yeah. So it's daily, day in, day out. It is video calls. It is visits. At least quarterly, I would go to places like South Africa or to Geneva or to London, support our guys on the ground there. Ultimately, it is supporting what they require, making sure you understand their needs, but also they are from different walks of life, different cultures, different experiences, taking the time to understand them and who they are and what they're trying to achieve, and letting them in to understand where we are going is vital. So that support isn't something that's just quarterly. It's not a annual review. It is their day
it's
in,
not
day
a weekly
out.
catch up with the same questions.
No, it's
so
not.
what are some of the successes you've had recently with people within your organisation or further afield?
Yeah, so about 18 months ago, we hired a consultant in Johannesburg in South Africa, and we gave him the wings to fly and all the support that he needed. And ultimately, he did exceptionally well. And about 6 months ago, I started to think, okay, I think he's getting to the point of readiness to be an MD and to build.
Actually, then it's the recognition. A leader recognises,
Yeah.
hold on, yeah, they're doing a great job and they're making the company money and making me look good, but what does that mean for them then?
Exactly.
That's a really
They
important
need to
leadership
know,
trait.
They need to know that they are good enough, that they are recognized, that they're making an impact. And even if they don't see it themselves yet, you have to kind of, paint the picture and go, okay, I think you can be an MD one day and grow your own office. What do you think about that? And that's makes all the difference. It's not always about money. Money comes, money goes.
Yeah.
But it's that confidence and belief in somebody that really lifts them.
And so they've become an MD after.
So yesterday he was appointed as MD.
Nice.
Yeah, so really happy about that, and he's. I'm looking forward to the next chapter to see what he can do.
Yeah,
That's amazing. So I've got a question for you. So you're Chief Commercial Officer, right? You're a leader. You're at the C-suite level, right? What did success look like before you was at that executive level?
It's interesting. You don't, when you're in a C-suite job, should I call it a job? You don't immediately see yourself as successful. You're always looking at what's next and where are you going. So even though it might be true right now, it's in my head, it doesn't always feel that way. Before I got to this level, I was an MD myself of 2 different offices with a previous company. And before that, I was looking after business development across Europe for the same group. I was with this group for about 10 years. And with that group, success looked like becoming the MD of an office.
Right.
For me, that's what I wanted to be. Not just for the status, but to have something of my own that I can develop and grow. And they gave me that chance. In 2019, I was appointed as the MD in Mauritius with 7 people.
Nice.
And within 3 years, we grew to 33 people.
Wow.
So that's what success looked like to me, was not just the title, but to show that I can actively grow it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it didn't have its failures and its disappointments along the way. It always does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, failure is a huge part of success,
Totally.
right?
That's how you learn.
And, you know, people see the sunshine, the rainbows, you know, all the good stuff, right? But there's obviously a lot of trial and errors, you know, a lot of setbacks, you know, a lot of pain, a lot of emotional scars.
Yeah.
You know, what were some of the setbacks or failures that you learnt from the most that has led you to be where you are today?
So I transitioned from one jurisdiction or country to another to be the MD of another office in Europe, from Mauritius to Europe. And I didn't fully appreciate the cultural differences between the 2 places.
They are quite different.
Very, very different. Glass half empty, glass half full. And you need to be cautious in terms of your transparency of the organization. I think one of the hardest lessons I learned then was going to a bigger office in another country didn't give me the right to say what I want to say in front of all the staff at a staff meeting. I didn't measure my words appropriately, should I say. I was a little bit too honest because this office was really in a downward spiral, a lot of negativity, a lot of bad attitude. And it's not what I like to see. I'm very much an optimist. You have to be in a CCO role. Every day is filled with opportunity and optimism. And I think that's the hardest lesson I learned, was not speaking your mind entirely at a staff meeting. Making sure that you are more measured.
It's like there's it's an interesting point, isn't it? Sorry, I'm far too old to be crossing my legs on a podcast after playing football last night. Being completely transparent and open and truthful all the time is, you would think, the right way to be. Sometimes you do have to hold certain things back and search for the right opportunity in the right moment, because people receive feedback differently, right? It kind of winds me up a little bit. You say, well, I'm a truth teller. Well, that's fine. I'm pleased for you, but some people don't receive feedback the same way. And I think, you know, I've managed plenty of people over the years. Some people like a pat on the back, just a little one. That's good work, right? Some people want a trophy and a celebration and a present and balloons and poppers. Some people just want feedback daily. Some people want a little mix of all 3, and I think a good leader is someone who can bring that in
And recognise what.
Yeah, it's one. Fucking grind. Work is a grind sometimes. It's hard work to create something meaningful. So you need to recognise those small steps that people are putting in on behalf of you or your business or anything else as you go along. That for me is a really key tenement of leadership, is picking the right moment. And following through.
Knowing what to say and when to say it.
Totally.
And when not to say it.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's experience. That's you learn that with time. You know?
do.
And as you get older, you tend to say less in certain situations.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's better to say nothing at all.
Well, that's another trait of a good leader, is listening more than you speak.
Totally.
You know, asking questions, listening, empathy, compassion, understanding, all of those things.
Exactly.
You know, to help that person, you know, move forward or feel seen and appreciated.
Yeah, and I think leadership is more than just about leading people, right? It's mean, there's a few world leaders at the moment, right, doing certain things, and some would question the strength of certain leadership styles. And there's others that people put in a different bracket potentially, but it's not a perfect art. You can't just say, right, here's leadership. What is it? Because it has to be flexible to the demand of geopolitical tension here, for example.
Yeah.
So what, and Trustcore are relatively new to the region.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does leadership look like for you in times of crisis rather than not crisis?
Yeah,
When stakes are high.
Great question, Mark. Yeah, the firm's been going for 25 years, but we are not in the Dubai market for more than a year now. I would say just over a year. We've got a very small team here, and they grew quite nicely over the last 12 months. I think during a time of crisis, your humility, your sense of understanding, your sense of listening exponentially increases. You have to be able to understand where are your staff based within the region. What are their needs? Do they have families? Do they have little children? Do they need to make a plan to go somewhere else for a while? We did that for our staff at our cost, because we believe in them and their situations. And I think in a time of crisis, it's just about listening, making sure that you take it one minute at a time.
Yeah.
It's not about tomorrow, it's about now. What can I do now to help you?
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to not be here when the situation started. I went back to Mauritius. We recently moved here, by the way. So I was on a flight out of here on the 28th of February, early in the morning, which if you know the dates, you'll know what that means.
I do.
And at that same time, when it all started, we had a lot of panic from the people here. And my first instinct and the first thing I said was, you've got to do what's right for you and your family. Not for me, not for Trustcore. This right now is about you. No, I think that's
and
that's it.
We will all also come from our own different playbooks, right? What affects me won't affect you as much, and what affects you as much won't affect me potentially. It might be the same. We might be the same person, and vice versa. So you don't know what someone's thinking. Right? You don't know how they're going to react to something. So you have to approach all of these situations and circumstances, I think, with some degree of open-mindedness, that you don't know what someone else is thinking, or when someone's having a bad day, or someone's got something else going on. So I think you always need to somehow go into most of these things with the ability to cut a bit of slack for people and ask, because questions are very important in leadership, because you don't know anything unless you ask a question.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
So what kills performance inside a team?
Lack of recognition. I think that's a huge driver. If somebody's doing a good job and they don't feel appreciated, that's the first thing that really pisses them off, I think, gets them out the door. Not knowing where they're going. I said it earlier, without clarity and clear direction. You've got a target for your year. With my sales team, that's certainly the case. We've got a revenue target that we want to get to. If you don't tell them how to get there somehow, give them a blueprint. Right, we're going to focus on these intermediaries and those sectors and those regions. They're completely lost, So I think that really kills the enthusiasm and kills the team. And lack of communication. If you just ignore them, thinking, they're fine. I spent enough time with you. You're the MD of the office in South Africa now. I'm going to contact you once a year. It's just not on,
And what do you look for in top talent that others often miss?
Attitude. Everything else can be taught.
100%.
Yeah.
Positive attitude is all I look for when I hire somebody. The rest, I really couldn't care. I mean, it's somebody's got huge qualifications. Great, well done, But if you come into our business and you are not willing to work with us and your attitude isn't right, I'm not interested.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I've worked in and around the recruitment industry for a while. Most people would want, the right attitude. it then depends how much time do you have to invest in that person, right? If you've got a really defined need, let's say you must have someone with ADGM experience who's done X, Y, and Z for X amount of years, then actually you can have the best person in the world over here, but you have to train them. It's a balancing act, isn't it? I
Totally
think.
is.
Yeah, it depends on like where they sit within a business as well, because for salespeople, commercially driven people, attitude is a huge thing, right?
It's everything.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. And what is attitude, right? Showing up on time, turning up early, leaving late.
Proactivity.
Proactivity, using your own initiative, being emotionally intelligent, all these things, right? They are learnt skills, right? But then on the other side, you have more operationally minded people. All right, they might have a bit of a crappy attitude, but they're good at their job, right?
Not necessarily.
Right.
Let's make that abundantly clear. Possibly, yeah.
No, but some people can just, away from the commercial side, they can be put in a role and they do that role really well.
Yes.
You do need those.
Yeah.
You do need those, in the back office and the operational piece, especially what we do. You need people who are sitting in an office day after day with compliance work. I mean, I would absolutely hate to be a compliance officer, but some people enjoy it, and you need them. You need them, and you need to make them feel valued as well. Because
absolutely.
that's
a vital part of any
ungrateful
business.
job. That is, but that's what puts the whole thing together.
Yeah, exactly.
What we are selling at the front end has to be serviced.
and this is another thing, right? Some people will want to be front and center of everything, right? You'd say a lot of salespeople are like that,
Exactly.
but actually some salespeople are quite introverted.
Yeah.
Not sitting in, but the dictionary definition of introverted. Some operational people may be quite extroverted and loud and brash, but actually where they succeed is repetition, not necessarily repetition, but
process.
But process and having a defined set of things to do that can develop into strategic initiatives or whatever. So that's also exceptionally important to understand. Is the psychology of somebody and what makes them tick.
Totally.
And how they like to work.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, just going back on what I said, attitude is everything. Doesn't matter whether you're on the commercial side or operational side. It does matter, but I think it matters more when you're client facing.
100%.
Right? I think it matters more.
100%. Yeah. I mean, imagine you facing a client and your attitude is shit.
Yeah, like if you're having a bad day, but you've got a good attitude, you can switch it up and have and do what's necessary to get the job done.
Exactly.
So
I think a lot of times when you're hiring people and they are extremely experienced, it costs a lot of money, but also sometimes they are beyond molding and shaping into what Trustcore needs, or whatever other companies out there. Shaping them to your needs and molding them is sometimes almost impossible when they have reached a certain age, or not even age, a certain experience level, or just a certain unwillingness to remold.
Yeah, a brilliant person for one organisation might not be a brilliant person for another in the same role. That's the art.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate yourself in a crowded market?
Trustcore in mind, we are owner managed. I think if you look at the corporate services world that I work in, a lot of our competitors are private equity owned, not privately owned. We've only got 2 owners and they both work for our organization. So that's important. They both still look after clients directly, which is huge. I think that's a massive differentiating factor. I think in the UAE market, you've got a lot of CSPs who are only local. They're only in the UAE market. We are multinational. We are in Mauritius, we're in Switzerland, we're in the British Virgin Islands. We've got somebody who's working for us in Cyprus, for example. So, and then of course the UAE, that's our newer baby, should I say. Being multinational in what we do is a game changer. A lot of clients come to us and they've got a multinational company structure, and that's where we really come into our own.
Nice. So what type of clients do you work with generally?
Literally from all walks of life, the startup entrepreneur right through to an ultra high net worth individual, multinational corporates looking to expand into Africa via Mauritius, for example, as a holding company, or into the UAE. We've got clients from Africa wanting to be based in the UAE for logistics or any kind of market. Our clients are from mining backgrounds, from IT backgrounds, from fruit and veg.
Yeah.
All sorts. So it's really quite a wide variety of clients that we work with, all age ranges as well.
Amazing. So what would you say have been your biggest growth levers, like your biggest successes, your biggest wins? You know, what would you say that is for you personally, you know, from a career perspective, but also, you know, with what you do?
For me personally, is getting into the right industry. I wasn't always in this business. After high school, I did my yacht master. I worked on luxury yachts for a while. Spent about 5 years in the Caribbean and Florida, which was tough, as you can imagine.
That must have been a
young man.
real bind in
What a
your
chore.
early 20s. Yeah.
What a chore. And that was a real, should I say, time of my life where I could also lead people. I was a skipper of a yacht at the ripe age of 22, taking day charters with passengers, reef snorkel tours, things like that. And when you're in that situation, it sounds idyllic, but there are stressful situations. People can't swim, or rough seas and so on. So that's the starting point of learning how to look after people, leadership. But then getting into this industry about 15 years ago, when you are from a non-international finance center like South Africa, where we don't know much about offshore business or finance centers, finding it when I moved to Gibraltar in 2012 was quite a game changer for me in getting into the right kind of business where I could relate, I could enjoy it. So that's personally getting into the right line of work was fantastic. For us as a business, Africa is by far our biggest growth lever at the moment. 40% of our client base is African, South African, Kenyan, Ugandan, Nigerian. Developing markets are always great places for what we do. You've got clients looking to invest into and out of Africa, and they want to use company structures to achieve that. So that's a huge driver for us at the moment. And of course, the Middle East. That's why we set up shop here last year. Client-driven demands.
So when do you think a company, whether that be your company or any company, if a leader was watching this, and they're thinking, I want to hire, a good team versus we'll keep the team that we have, but we optimize them, get the most out of them. When should a company hire and when should they optimize their workforce?
You hire when you are going into a new jurisdiction. When we started thinking about Dubai, we needed somebody on the ground here who understands Dubai. We couldn't send anybody in here to come and do this
Totally
kind of an
agree
MD
with that.
role.
I've seen some nightmares, sorry to interject,
Sure.
of companies out here who've tried to scale with no regional experience. And this is a unique place where you need unique experiences within region.
Totally agree. You've got 45, 46 different free zones. To really understand the different nuances between those, you're not going to get that out of somebody who's never been here. It takes time and experience, So maybe earlier I said about attitude, but in the UAE, experience is also super important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've seen, we're in the recruitment space, right? And the workforce optimization space. And we've seen a lot of companies that have UK business come over here, throw people over from their UK practice into the UAE market, and it just hasn't worked out for them, and it's after a year they've had to leave the market because they don't understand the place, right?
It's very relationship driven here.
Yeah.
And relationships take time to build.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah, they do take years. I mean, one of my clients, just as an example, one of the biggest consulting firms in the world, right? It's taken me 4 years to build a relationship up with the partners there, and only now, we're doing business together. But these people have become our friends over time.
It takes time.
And they learn to trust you, like you,
and look, work should be fun, right? It's hard work.
Yeah.
And client, colleague, whoever, you should be able to have fun together and be and also, I think good leadership. If we talk about, it's a really good question about, your clients. It's being able to be honest and open with them too, and to be able to be open and honest with someone. You don't just pick up the phone call and go, "Oh, I've heard you're not doing very well." It's not a good start, is it? You can only tell someone, knows that they might not want to hear if you're trusted by that person.
Yeah.
And it's imperative out here to build relationships over time and put the work in.
Totally.
So that's what leadership is here.
And people want to know that you're not fly-by-night operator. You are here to stay.
Yeah.
You are here to be trusted. And that unfortunately, that's not a quick fix. It takes time.
Yeah. So just to add on top of that, with the current situation that we're in at the minute, I think what we're going to be seeing a lot of is companies that are a fly-by-night operators, smaller firms, people that don't have those leadership qualities to weather the storm when it gets tough, and they kind of just leave because, that's the best option for them, not necessarily the business. And I feel that what we will see in time, in the medium term and long term, that those that stayed here, stay committed, because leadership quality is about discipline, but also commitment to
turn up.
Yeah, to see it through, right? Not just leave when things get hard, right? So I feel like the Dubai market, the UAE, will see a cleanse, personally, of businesses and leaders. And those that have stayed here and committed to the region will want to do business with other people that have stuck here and stayed committed to the region.
100%.
I think that we're going to see a lot of that now.
Definitely.
100%.
It's much needed in our sector in particular. If you think of the UAE market as having 3,000 CSPs or corporate service providers.
It's a mental number, by the way.
It's crazy. But would you do business with any of them? Yes, there are probably 10% of those that are credible.
Yeah, there's some great firms and I can speak on their behalf. There's some bad ones, really bad ones, and then some really, really bad ones.
Exactly.
Give me a story.
No.
You pay for what you get. It's there's an old saying. Obviously, when you buy something cheap, you're going to have to buy it again.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the
cheap,
same
pay
thing.
twice, yeah.
Exactly, pay twice. But to get back to your question about optimization, that's not for somebody who's new in the UAE market. So you have to hire. Optimization elsewhere, if you've got an established firm, is really understanding the output of your operational team. Are they at capacity? Are they really? Do you understand what capacity looks like? Before hiring, can you upskill? Are you training your people? A lot of companies seem to forget about that. If you're not going to train them and upskill them, how can you get the best out of them?
100%. It's a topic dear to our heart. One of the platforms that, our owners have a workforce optimization tool that shows, are you happy? Sad? What's performing? What's working well? What isn't? Where can you upskill? Where are your skills gaps? All those kind of things. So absolutely vital now to organizations that want to scale. It's not just about bums on seats, right?
Completely
It's
agree.
about a motivated, happy workforce, and that's what Epitome Global, which is the workforce optimization platform that we use for our clients, does. And it's great because it saves time, saves money on having to rehire people.
It's all about time, isn't it?
Yeah. You hire badly, you pay it's not just a financial implication, it's time.
It's time to get them into the business.
Yeah.
That takes time. If you're just going to lose them after 6 months and you've invested 6 months in them, it's the money, but geez, the time is almost worse, that you've wasted.
Don't have much time anymore, do you?
No.
I don't know about you, James. I need some more sleep, I think, at some point.
It's true.
But I love it.
So what do most people get wrong about success? What do most people get wrong about even that word success, you know, because everybody's got a different definition of what success means to them, right? And I think a lot of people see that, you know, the titles, you know, the nice things that you see online on social media, but what does it actually mean, success, to you, that people can maybe take away from somebody in a position that you're in?
Yeah. I think people get success wrong when they think about money. We all want to live in a nice house and drive a nice car and go on a fancy vacation, but that's not true success. Success is building a legacy, building a lasting team, building a team that trusts you, but then that can be okay without you, you know, that can carry on building, you know. Success in the commercial environment is not just about hitting targets, but understanding how you get to those targets year after year. It's almost like a panic button when the financial year ends and you've reached target and you go, geez, I'm on zero again. How do I get to that target again? If you don't have that longer term vision, you're in real trouble.
Yeah, and I think I was learning something. I was reading I got a book bought for me. It's more like a journal where you like set goals and, you know, you journal, you do your gratitude and all that good stuff. And there was a page in the book, and it was talking about the difference between goal setting and identity-based goal setting. And it was really interesting because the previous page was about setting goals, you know, financial goals, this, that, and the other. And then on the next page, it was like, right, you want to achieve those outcomes, but what are the identity-based goals that you need to set? Who is the person that you need to become in order to achieve those goals? Because that is more important than the goal itself. You know, and it was saying something about the word success. And if you break the word down, what's half the word? Suck. Right?
I like that.
Yeah, you need to suck enough time. Suck enough times to be successful, right? And it's saying you need to suck enough times to have success, right? And it's true, right? You have to fail.
Success is a journey.
Yeah, and it builds character, right?
Yeah, exactly. With the younger generation coming through now, they expect success overnight. They watch these YouTube videos and all these people with what looks like a lot of wealth and money and all that kind of stuff, and they miss the journey. They miss the point. It does not happen.
Instant gratification.
Totally.
Yeah.
I've got 25-year-olds working for our firm now, and they want to be an MD or they want to be a CEO, and they come and ask you about it, and you say, that takes years. You know that, right? It doesn't happen when you're 26.
Just because you decide to,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's the instant gratification with a lack of purpose, and it ultimately is leading them to like long-term suffering.
Yeah.
You know, and really it's the other way around, right? It's the short-term pain with purpose, which will lead you to long-term rewards and long-term gain.
I think success, you've got to celebrate the wins as you go, right? And then your ambitions and your goals will get bigger, because like you said, it might be, right, I want to become an MD. Then it might be, I want to be CEO. Then I want to list. Then I want to become a billionaire. Whatever it is, right? It's just made up off the spot. But it takes years and years of working every day, all day, and you have to celebrate the small bits, and also celebrate the failures and learn from the failures, because, you know, success is not a straight line. It's like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like the stock market.
You have to be pretty resilient. Yeah, it is. It really is. You've got to be resilient to the good and the bad.
And learning from it.
Yeah.
Bouncing back stronger.
So what would you tell your younger self?
Be patient. Have more patience. I think I was once one of those 25-year-olds that I just described, where I wanted to get from A to B or A to Z, like that. You know, it just doesn't work that way. You need to have patience, not just in your professional life, but in all aspects of life. When you're in a hurry, things tend to go spectacularly wrong for you, I think, you know. So I would definitely, tell myself that, if I could tell myself anything at all. It's the same with investments. The biggest mistakes with investments that I've ever made were panic selling. You know, you're buying a stock or a Bitcoin or whatever it is, the market goes down, or Bitcoin, as it very often does, halves in value, and you panic and you sell. And if you were patient with anything like that, you would be doing exceptionally well for yourself.
Correct.
So for the younger generation of leaders who might be watching this and thinking, I want to be a CEO, I want to be a chief commercial officer, what advice would you give them? You know, we'll start with you and then we'll go on to you, and then I can give my 2 pence as well.
Don't do it. Right. What advice would I give a youngster of today? Success doesn't happen overnight. We just touched on it earlier. Stop watching YouTube videos that makes it look like it's overnight, because it really isn't. It takes long hours, weekends. You got to be available. You've got to sometimes miss certain family events. You are traveling a lot. You're away a lot. It's hard work. So if you are prepared to do all those things, you'll get there. You know.
Oh, there's so many. Take risks. Don't be the smartest person in the room ever. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Don't care about what other people think. Always be kind whilst you're doing it, because if you're doing things for the right purpose, with the right values, it doesn't matter what other people think. And work hard. Follow those leads that you wouldn't normally follow at other times. Really push it. Have that conversation you weren't going to have. You don't know where that's going to lead you. Some of the calls that I've had, you know, I'm tired, I don't want to do this one. They've led to the best relationships I've ever had. Right? Show up on time. Get it fucking done. Right? That's what I'd say. Don't worry about what other people think. Get it fucking done. That'd be my
show
overall.
up on time. That's massive.
Yeah, because they say early is on time.
Yeah.
On time is late.
Yeah.
And late is unforgettable.
Yeah.
Right? It's true.
Yeah.
Do the simple things, right? Do the simple things. Just do it more than the average person. Right?
Exactly.
Marginal gains, yeah.
Yeah, marginal gains. So personally for me, I think, I mean, I'm a young entrepreneur, partner of RGH, partner of, you know, your company, and founder of The Ultimate Connector. So I'm very entrepreneurial. I've been a CEO of my own company. Nothing crazy, nothing with a huge company, but for those that are wanting to be, you know, a startup founder, a CEO, I would say do the simple things right. You know, I'm a big believer in personal development, you know, learning, growing, learning every day about yourself, understanding what other people have done who are where you want to be, model them. You know, I take a lot from you, you know, in business. He's a mentor of mine.
Fantastic.
He doesn't know that, but he is.
Great.
But
honor.
I think,
what a privilege.
Yeah, surround yourself with successful people, you know, because they say, you know, hang around with 5 alcoholics, you'll be the 6th. But they also say hang around with 5 millionaires doesn't necessarily mean you'll be the 6th. You know, you need to understand the way they think, the things they do, the things that you don't see, you know, and just be the best version of yourself in all areas of your life. You know, it's not just about money, right? It's not just about having these flashy things. It's about optimizing your life in every area, you know, your health, your relationships, your wealth, you know, doing things that you actually love to do. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I think it has a ripple effect in everything that you do. So how you show up in one area of your life will run over into other areas of your life.
Yeah. Make your bed in the morning.
Yeah, simple things. Make your bed in the morning.
Totally.
You know, eat healthy.
Balance.
Go to the gym. Have balance. And exactly. So, you know, not having an perspective of an imbalance of perspective. Because I think a lot of people have that. They do one thing too much to overcompensate the other areas of their life that they're lacking. And I think that's when, you know, you're stressed out and you know you're underperforming.
I think you're right. Absolutely. I think life has become so instant with messages at all hours. People don't really care anymore. It's a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning messaging you. You need to reply immediately. I think knowing when not to reply is also crucial.
Yeah.
When to just say, this is my time with my wife, my kids, my family, over a weekend or when you're on a holiday, and making sure that that balance remains intact. A lot of people I know are far too much into the, I have to reply now. You've just spent 12 hours at work and you get home. You don't need to reply anymore. You just take a little bit of time for yourself.
Yeah.
That's where the balance gets lost so quickly.
Amazing. We'll wrap it up there.
I think it's a good time to wrap up. It was a really enjoyable conversation, gentlemen. Thanks, James.
Yeah. Thank you very much, James.
Not a problem at all.
Excellent.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
See you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Absolutely.